prosper.
Y'all better listen to this shit. Y'all better listen to this shit. This is a musical bash right here.
Oh, baby. Tired of doing you wrong, baby. Doing you wrong. Sorry, baby. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. I need you. Baby, listen to me. This is it. Oh, baby. This is it. No more cheating on you. Oh, girl, I promise.
Do ever meant for me, it ain't gon' work. No, no. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No, it won't, no, it won't. It won't work. I want you to know God will do what He said He's gonna do. He will stand by His word. He will come through. No weapon formed against you. It may try, but it won't, it can't harm you. It won't work.
Ooh, the miseducation.
Now I don't, I used to love him. Now I don't. You might win some, but you really lost one. You just lost one. It's so silly. How come when it's all done, did you really gain from what you done? It's so silly. How come you just lost one? Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Watch out, watch out. Look out, look out. Watch out, watch out. Look out, look out. Guys, you know you better watch out. Yeah, some girls are only about to do that thing, that thing, that thing, that thing, that thing. Ba 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 ba, yeah yeah, ba ba ba, ooh ba ba ba, come again. Ooh, no matter how I think we grow, you always seem to let me know it ain't working. it ain't working. And when I try to walk away, you hurt yourself to make me stay. This is crazy, 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 crazy. Care for me, I know you care for me, there for me. So guys, you know you'll be there for me, cry for me. You said you'd die for me, give to me. Why won't you live for me?
But I know that there's more. More for you, more for us.
Children, rain all night long. Didn't it all, oh my Lord. Didn't it rain? Didn't it rain, children? Rain all night long. Didn't it all? Didn't it all? Oh, my Lord. Didn't it rain?
You can't run from it. You can't deny it. You can't pass it off. It's your call. God knew what he was doing. He knew who he was calling. And he expertly and intricately detailed every aspect of your life, your being, your persona, your psyche, your physicality, everything about you, from the texture of your hair to the color of your eyes to the way that you laugh to the fingerprint on your thumb. Everything is connected to your calling. And until you walk into the fullness of the thing that you were created for, you will find yourself frustrated. You're called.
I hate to do this, but no, I have to. I have to talk to somebody.
Oh, I know I've read all the articles, seen all the photographs, pictures of you and me in the magazine. I did all the interviews, and not once did I mention you. Let the billboards walk right by you. I didn't want to make a scene because we agreed to keep it on the hush. Don't want everybody knowing about us. And I vow that forever I keep my word, baby. But I'm telling you now, the secret is driving me crazy. And I'm tired of creeping around with you. Really wanna be with you. Tell me what the hell are we gonna do? I'm like, oh, 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 oh. Baby, we can't let the industry know, because our cover will be blown. If anybody is or so happens to see, girl, you've got your career and I've got family, and girl, that's why we can't let the industry know, oh no, because our cover will be blown. Don't want it to be known, gotta keep it on the low. Nobody, girl, we can't let the industry know. But you wanna know, yeah. Won't talking about, but you wanna know, won't think it back. Wait, said you be my shelter in the midst of stormy weather. Texts of you telling me you want my umbrella. Girl, I
starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
It's time to wake up, ladies. Wake up, wake up, wake up for me, yeah. I know y'all been listening to a lot of shit out there, bro. And it's good. But it's time for y'all to listen to the realness. Baby girl, you got my eyes on you. All of my attention is officially now focused on you. You're standing in the mirror trying on all your underwear. Lying in your bed, imagining me all on you, yeah. Finally getting moody than a mother as I watch you go through every single color. And I'm about to have a sex attack, cause that's my favorite, so keep it like that. Cause you look so good from the back in black. I love to see your booty in them all black panties, yeah. So keep them on, black panties, yeah. Ladies, if they got black panties on you, ain't no telling what girls they do. If they fit right, I'll be hitting it all night. Back and forth, lick it all night. Have you all just combobulated? You'll be loving it so much you hate it, but still you want it. Cause I know where your spot is, and I'm willing to kiss it. Got you all in my bed, pulling off your Victoria's Secret. So let's turn it up a notch, let's act like black is all you got. Walk around black stilettos on, black room with black lights on. I'ma get it till we black out, baby, gone. I'ma give this love to your body more. And I'm about to have a sex attack, cause that's my favorite, so keep it like that. Cause you look so good from the back in black. I love to see your booty in them all black panties, yeah. So keep them on, black panties, yeah. Ladies, if they got black panties on you, ain't no telling what girls may do. If they fit right, I'll be hitting it all night. Back and forth, lick it all night. Have you all just combobulated? You'll be loving it so much you hate it, but still you want it. It's time to wake up, ladies. Wake up, wake up, wake up for me, yeah.
Yes, sir. How y'all doing? What's going on, Dream Team? We got the best team in the land. Dream Team, what's up, baby? On this Sunday. So I was asked to do something real quick, and I said, yeah, I'll do it. No problem. I was asked to really cover the oral arguments. I touched on it, but I didn't really touch on it. So look, let's get the salutations out of the way. If this is your first time on the channel, myself, Dana J, and the Dream Team, we want to congratulate you and say we thank you for giving us your view. We thank you because every view is needed and welcome. But that's all we ask is hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you feel like the commentary is good. Also, share us out, because that's how we get it going. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. And if you really want to get gully, you can go ahead and hit that button right at the top where you'll see where it say top chat, live chat, or fan funding. You can go ahead and hit that fan funding and become a member or fund whatever way you want to do.
A lot of people don't know about that. But if you hit that button and say top chat, live chat, or fan funding, y'all go ahead and hit that joint, and whichever one y'all want to do. All right. Also, if you want to hit the super chat, and the super chat take care of this channel, there's a box down at the bottom. You go ahead and hit that, box with a dollar sign in it, and I mean, you can donate as little as $1 up to $4,000. Nothing is too little, nothing is too small. I appreciate it all, and Dream Team, we love it all. Thank you so much, Mama Love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mama Love, with the 20 piece. You know what I mean? Look, I see Brooke in there talking about my intro. And see Brooke playing. See, I go and give you another intro now. Nah, but I'm ready to get this content out the way. Shout out to Brooke, Valentine University, man. Y'all go like, share, subscribe her page. Y'all go like, share, subscribe Alicia Podcast TV. Go like, share, subscribe her page as well. Also, I'm missing somebody. Look, even though Senator Sane is gone for a minute, y'all go like, share, subscribe his page and look at his videos. Y'all go rewatch Senator Sane videos, man. Like, share, subscribe, bro. Share them out. Don't forget Chris Terry, 2010. Go like, share, subscribe, little bro page. He got his music up. Love it always. EJ. Go like, share, subscribe EJ page because he got something coming too. He got something hot coming. I'm missing somebody. Miss Lady T. And Miss Lady T Dixon. Like, share, subscribe her page. And whenever she go live, that might be tomorrow. And she might go live and be walking and laughing and dancing and then leave. You never know. But hey, whatever they got, let's let them have it, man. I'm missing some people. Chi-Town Finest, go like, share, subscribe her page. Definitely. Chi-Town Finest, go like, share, subscribe her page. Faces and Beyond. Definitely go like, share, subscribe Faces page. She got the hottest makeup on a goddamn internet. I'm gonna tell you that now. Ain't nobody beating Faces like Faces and Beyond. I don't care who say they got what. Ain't nobody beating Faces and doing lashes and got their own lipstick and their own, man, she got it all going on. Don't forget the one and only Georgia girl now. Georgia girl got the plastic wraps going on. Go like, share, subscribe, Georgia girl. She gonna take you on that adventure walk with Jesus. Then she gonna get you on a smoothie drink with the earth realm. Then she gonna tell you, oh, I can do a bag for you. I can do a napkin for you. I can do a raincoat for you. Whatever you need, Georgia girl got it. I keep telling y'all, everything that was needed is in the Dream Team. And you don't got to go outside to get nothing else. Whatever you need is here. We got cooks and we got bloggers and we got truth tellers. We got real legal representative. We got law enforcement. Everything is here. So ain't no need to keep going crazy and going back and forth. Man, hell with that stuff. Ooh, that's bright. Do it, babe. I got them oxtails jumping. So what I'm gonna do is, don't forget. Oh, I forgot. Don't forget, bro. Shank Rock is in the building, y'all. Dream Team, let's give Shank Rock a warm welcome. Shank Rock is from another sector, but I gotta do it. I gotta go home, and I gotta do it like this because we get hot back home. Let's do it like this.
What you gonna do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. We love tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spank you. That ass count, gotta make it last. Start off slow, and I'ma beat it up.
Alright, so we got Shank Rock in the building. Don't forget the one and only Hollywood Next. Don't forget our leading sis, Prima Donna News. Also, hold on. When you go to Prima Donna News, don't forget that she can cook her tail off. Don't forget Prima Donna Pastries right there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, share, subscribe to these folks. I'm telling you. Big Vibe Opinion. Hey, he got some stuff going on too. You know what I mean? Just look, like I say, we're a community of love over here. We don't bother nobody unless we're bothered. And then when we're bothered, we will give you the smoke signal and tell you, leave us alone. If you continue, then we're going to come back and fight fire with fire. So, I must get some things out. I will be doing a series with Bro Shank Rock. If you into politics, if you want to know the good, the bad, the ugly of the election and politics and Trump, Nikki Haley, Joe Biden, and all other folks, if y'all want to know, come over because me and Shank Rock we're going to tag team. One day I'm going to be over here. Next day we're going to be over there. And we're going to integrate his followers with our followers. And listen, we all just going to be one big network of family. You know what I mean? Shank Rock covers a lot of things. And you know, he covers a lot of stories. And he bring a different view. Just like Hollywood Next. Hollywood Next covers a lot of stories. And she bring a different view. So that's all we have is a male that's joining us, that's coming over to hang with us because he like commentary. And plus, I know him, man. Like, shit. All my life. So, I cannot exclude the brother. My brother. Known him all my life. So, I'm glad to see he doing this thing. He also shoot movies and everything else. Second thing I want to tell y'all. Tomorrow starts the new place that we'll be going to. It used to be called Twitter, but starting tomorrow, we will be live broadcasting on Elon Musk's X. So we will be on X starting tomorrow, and I'm excited because I used to tweet a lot. I used to put a lot of stuff on there, and then I get to go live, and everything that I wanted to say in Texan, I can say it vocally and people can see. Don't forget, tell your friends that DanaJay will be on X starting tomorrow. That's platform number 29. 29 platforms every time I stream. I'm telling you, I ain't playing around no more. I ain't playing no more. What up, Ern? I see little brother in the business. All right, we going to get down to this R.Kelly stuff, okay? So, for the last 5 years, we've been hearing R.Kelly is guilty. We've been hearing R.Kelly like underage girls. We've been hearing R.Kelly is a bad person. But for the people that said that, they did not get a transcript, nor did they bother either listening to none of the arguments, nor did they bother reading the headlines on Twitter as the court cases was going on. If they did, they would have learned a lot of things that they have been saying have been wrong. Even with the so-called Team Truth folks that broke off into the COVID folks, they'll sit back and they'll say, oh, R. Kelly was a bad person. R. Kelly was this. R. Kelly was that. But if you notice, when Angelo Clary walked away from them people and faded to black, all of a sudden them people now are saying, free R. Kelly. Whether it's a design to play the game, which I totally see that it was, or whether it was something that they believed all along, but they needed to be a part of something, just to be a part, to say and to have a voice about something. At the end of the day, I said it once, I said it twice, and I'll say it again. At no point are you going to say free R.Kelly after you sat there and said he's a pedophile? How can you call a man a pedophile that never been charged with pedophilia? Hold on. How can you give a man a jacket of being a pedophile when he was never charged with pedophilia? Oh, what about the tapes? What about them? They were underage girls on the tape. Don't take my word for it. I ain't gonna spoil it. But you're gonna hear what was on the tapes. See, DanaJay got off track for a while, but now we getting back on track. Matter of fact, I broke to y'all who BOP Officer A was. At first I came and I gave you a hypothetical. Then I came back and I gave you a maybe. Then I gave you the extensions of BOP Officer A, which should have gave y'all some inkling. Then when I got pissed off, I came and gave you Individual A, BOP Officer A. Shout out to Mama Mary, you in the building. At the end of the day, will I say R.Kelly is 100% innocent? I would be a fool to say R.Kelly is a perfect man. None of us are perfect. We all have imperfections. But will I say R.Kelly did what they say he did? Hell no. And I stand 10 toes deep. Always have, never wavered. Never, ever wavered at all. I stood on what I stood on. Even when the people had inside track to the feds, I looked them in their face and looked the feds in the face and told them, R.Kelly innocent. So y'all can try to shake me, which is not going to happen, because I'm going to stand on business and I'm going to stand on truth. Now, if I can't win with truth, then how can I win? Just like when they came and grabbed my devices. Oh, no, you stealing from the defense fund. Grab the devices. But the only thing it was, you caught me off guard because I was live when you knocked on that door. And I ain't going to lie. You said, cut everything off. We need it. I'm looking like, oh, shoot. I done seen Jesus. They came in full force. But you know, you got some haters that be like, oh, we sat back and planned that with him. And if you believe that I got some oceanfront property in Idaho that I want to sell you. At the end of the day, though, you are seeing people do the switcheroo. Hey, shorty. You said tape 2 and 3. Send me that, shorty. I got to read that. Because I believe I read every motion that Bonjean done put out, and I ain't seen none of that. Then I've heard Larry say that. And I've heard Jim Darriaga say it, but I never heard Bonjean say it, shorty. And you got to send me that. And the reason why I'm going to tell you why I didn't hear that is because tape 2 and tape 3 are the ones that they couldn't authenticate. And it kept skipping. Oh, yeah. I'm going to do a series on the R.Kelly Rico. I'm going to do a series, and it's starting right now. What up, King Cox? Love Life 44. Hey, so what is perfect? What is perfect? Perfect is the only one man I know, and that's Jesus Christ. And then I even got to question that. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because even when Jesus was about to be, hey, Gemini Don, even when Jesus was about to give up his life, he questioned God. So therefore, you got to ask yourself this question. Do a perfect person have a question in their mind about anything they got to go through? But I ain't come to church, none of y'all, even though it's Sunday, and I got them oxtails jumping, but we going forth. So with that being said, you had a bunch of people that jumped out there and started faking like they were Jennifer Bonjean. I'm going to start there. They start acting like that they was the lawyer. And they wanted people to send them money. After I broke it down that nobody should be sending anybody money. Jennifer Bonjean said, there are at least 3 accounts pretending to be me right now and asking for money for R.Kelly. I have reported them. Please don't give money to any account pretending to be me or my firm. Now, this was on February the 7th, 2024. Why do I have 2 of these same accounts that's hitting me on We Got Ups asking me to send money? Not knowing that I'm on We Got Ups, and they probably don't even know it's me. So I'm going to tell you this, and the reason why I show that is because this has become a cash cow for a lot of people. If we speak on R. Kelly and ask for money and make up fake accounts, then we can dupe the people because the people are slow. So they think. The people do not know what's going on, so we can go ahead and we can just do what we do. And my sis Prima Donna has brought out a collage. And in her collage, it pretty much broke down a lot of stuff. Now, I have a question that not even my sister Prima Donna has answered. And the question that I have is this right here. If Jim Dariagas can be on other people's channels and write books and spread lies and do all other interviews, how can and why was he able to elude the stand at the courthouse? Nobody has been able to answer that question. And my question would be to Judge Levenweather, what happened when the glitch found you in your courtroom? That would be my question. What happened when the glitch found you in your courtroom? What do I mean by that? When you was going to make a ruling about the motion, a glitch happened and 2 days had to be taken off. When you came back, you have decided that Jim Dariagas didn't have to be on the stand. Now watch this. It says, United States versus Robert Sylvester Kelly, a.k.a. R. Kelly, Daryl McDavid, and Milton June Brown, a.k.a. June Brown. Re-notice of emergency motion. Please take notice that on the 7th day of September 2022 at 9:45 a.m., we shall appear before the Honorable Harry D. Levenweather and any judge sitting his stead in room 2525 of the Everett McKinley Dirksen United States Courthouse, Chicago, Illinois, and shall then and there present Jim Dariagas and the New Yorker magazine's emergency motion to quash subpoena to reporter and or for a protective order, a copy of which is attached and served upon you. Now, I got a problem. Because if you can hold all these press conferences, if you can write a book, which the book is based on, Geronda told you that everything she said in that book was a lie. And we're going to break the book down too, because I got it. I want to know, why wasn't he able, or should I go here? Why wasn't he allowed to be held accountable on the stand? And what he said was, client privilege, too many things is going to come out, and I don't want to have that type of thing on my back, right? So with that being said, how can you continue to go out and spread untruths on Robert Sylvester Kelly and write stories for 25 years about Robert Sylvester Kelly, and you don't want to stand trial? I get it. So one of the questions that I was asked today is Jennifer Bonjean asking for a retrial in the oil brief? And then the second part to that question is, and if so, does that mean that Robert Sylvester Kelly will be retried for the obstruction charge? Well, I'm going to play the oral argument, but before I go there, I'm going to say this. A blogger came out not too long ago and said that they had to send Jennifer Bonjean something in the email form, and Jennifer don't talk to nobody and this and this. And that's right. That's true. But one thing I noticed that there's no need for me to grandstand anymore in this case. There's no need to say who I talk to and who I don't talk to. There's no need to put out there proof about that, because people only want to hear what they want to hear. So whether you show proof about anything or not, they don't give a hootenanny about what it is. So I've learned to just say, hell with them, keep going. Then they made a statement and said, oh, well, it's the bloggers talking to the parents and talking to the people from the other side. But wasn't you talking to them too? Wasn't they in your chat as well? And what I find funny is that when Dana talked to them folks, I'm against R.Kelly. But when they talk to the folks, oh, we just mingling, we just getting along. They are some good people. So why couldn't they be good people when I was dealing with them? Y'all see the way the narrative go? You can't deal with them, but we can deal with them. And it's a double tier justice system. And it's fine, because I don't need to deal with them no more. I'm good with it. But like I said, I will continue to talk to who I talk to. And people can say whatever, they can write letters or whatever. I'm going to talk to who I want to talk to. If you're not somebody that I want to talk to, then guess what? Hell with you. And I mean that. Devil be damned. So we're going to listen to this oral argument, and then I'm going to break it down as it go along. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a split screen. And I'm going to play the oral argument, and then in certain parts, I'm going to stop the oral argument, and I'm going to break down certain things. At no point should people think that I'm a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a blogger named daintezjackson, and I got a truthful impact on what I say, and I got a good goddamn opinion. Okay? So I don't want nobody running talking about, oh, daintezjackson a lawyer. No, I just can speak the legalese. Something that a lot of y'all don't know about. But let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's go.
The Honorable Judges for the United States Court of Appeals in and for the 7th Judicial Circuit. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons having business before this Honorable Court are admonished to draw near and give their attention as the Court is now sitting. God save the United States and this Honorable Court.
God damn.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Our first case for argument this morning is United States against Kelly. Ms. Bonjean.
Thank you and good morning, Your Honors. May it please the Court, my name is Jennifer Bonjean and I represent Robert Kelly. I am going to work backwards this morning and start by addressing the sentencing issue, but happy to field questions about any of the issues before the Court. Mr. Kelly was indicted in a 13-count indictment. He was convicted of 6 counts. He was acquitted of 7 of those counts, including obstruction of justice based on a 2008 state court prosecution, conspiracy to receive child pornography, and then the receipt counts. Mr. Kelly was sentenced to a 240-month sentence, which was the statutory maximum, and a sentence significantly above the guideline range. And the district court judge properly calculated the guidelines, but then gave just essentially a polite nod to them and decided, I think 20 years is the right sentence. And the district court's justification for the above guidelines range lacked sufficient factual basis. And that is our position. Generally speaking, he relied on acquitted conduct, and he relied on the guidelines today would punish this more severely. Therefore, we should give him an above guidelines range. Now, I want to first start with the acquitted conduct. If you look at the district court's comments, he both imprecisely and inaccurately stated that the evidence presented at Kelly's trial essentially showed that he engaged in some type of obstructive behavior.
Ms. Bonjean, do we know, though, that the district court actually relied on?
Now, hold on. Now, this is the appellate court, right? And one of the appellate court judges cut Ms. Bonjean off and pretty much is about to ask her some questions, and they're going to make some statements. Now, the way that it was calculated, Rob was acquitted of most of the charges in Chicago. And most of them charges in Chicago don't equate to 20 years. But the charges that he was found innocent or not guilty on, them charges together spans 20 years. So let's listen to what's going on. Hold on.
On that, because the district court said, I could find by a preponderance that he obstructed justice.
And
there
yes,
was no specific finding that he did.
Yes, and that's an excellent point, Your Honor. Our position is the judge was imprecise. He vaguely referenced, I could do this. It could be based on this.
But you want us to infer from that he actually did.
Well,
and what's the basis to do that given the judge's specific comments?
Well, I think what I would like the court to do is first find that his comments were too vague and ambiguous for us to find that what he relied on. And I think in our briefs we said it was both procedurally improper, and then we argued that even if you accept the government's position that there was this basis, the judge did make this finding. And you know, the comments were sort of a little bit of a stream of consciousness, if you will. And he said, I could do it. So our position, as our briefs I think set forth, is that it wasn't precise enough. He didn't identify the factual basis. But even if we looked at those factors, they would not provide a basis for an above guidelines range.
The district court sentencing seemed very grounded in the 3553 factors, and his concern for the seriousness of this offense.
Come on.
What's the difference between a service animal and an emotional support pet? Well, a service animal
and your client's history and characteristics, which is exactly what courts must do, is look at the 3553 factors. How do you get around that?
So the judge was like, concerning your client's history and factors. I have a problem with what the appellate judge just asked, because if he's acquitted on a lot of the stuff that he was acquitted on or talked about or accused of, then why would they say concerning the history of your client? Evidently, if he was if he was acquitted on a lot of the damning stuff, there was no history. So, which make me believe that the Seventh Circuit United States Court of Appeals, either one or two things, they listen to R.Kelly or they listen to the, in Dr. Rogers' terms, the bouffalet that came behind the name R.Kelly. Let's finish.
Well, I think you still have to look at the guidelines range as a starting point. And I would remind the court that probation found that there was no basis to sentence him above the guidelines. And
but that's not determinative.
Of course.
The court has to look at 3553, which again, the court spent quite a bit of time on those factors, in particular, the seriousness of the offense, the need for deterrence here, protecting the public.
And those were all appropriate factors to look at. But when a court decides to go 72 months above a guidelines range, it still should identify factually specific aggravating factors that would justify it. Not simply say, there was this acquitted conduct that I could find. And again, our position is the government did not prove the acquitted conduct by a preponderance of the evidence. We know that because the jury acquitted him of the conspiracy to receive child pornography.
Listen to this. She said the government did not approve or did not prove the acquitted conduct. So if the government did not prove the acquitted conduct, how can they charge him with the acquitted conduct? Can somebody that knows what's going on explain that? If the government couldn't prove the acquitted conduct, then how can Judge Levenweber charge him with the acquitted conduct? Excuse me. Let's listen.
So this wild goose chase that the judge referenced as sort of a basis for this above guidelines range is not borne out at all. In fact, the jury affirmatively rejected the government's narrative.
Different burden of proof.
I understand, but it's not logical. We sometimes see cases where maybe the government just didn't meet its burden, right? We can't assume that the jury would have not found it by the lower standard. But in this case, we can tell very clearly that they did not find that those tapes that were the subject of the wild goose chase were child pornography. If they had, they would.
Hold on. It goes back to what I said on Shawty. When Shawty said that Bonjean said tapes 2 and 3. Now, I want you to listen to what Ms. Bonjean just said. She ain't say tape. She said tapes. Tapes, meaning plural. Let's listen.
Conduct that I could find, and again, our position is the government did not prove the acquitted conduct by a preponderance of the evidence. We know that because the jury acquitted him of the conspiracy to receive child pornography. So this wild goose chase that the judge referenced as sort of a basis for this above guidelines range is not borne out at all. In fact, the jury affirmatively rejected the government's narrative.
Different burden of proof.
I understand, but it's not logical. We sometimes see cases where maybe the government just didn't meet its burden, right? We can't assume that the jury would have not found it by the lower standard. But in this case, we can tell very clearly that they did not find that those tapes that were the subject of the wild goose chase were child pornography. If they had, they would have at least convicted Mr. Kelly of the conspiracy count.
So Stephanie said one thing. Okay, I got somebody engaged. Well, no, I got 2 people engaged. Judah said they always talking about protecting the damn public. Facts. Legal malpractice the judge is doing. Facts. Then Stephanie said judicial and prejudicial biases. So Stephanie, let me ask you this. For judicial and prejudicial biases, isn't that grounds for dismissal? Isn't that grounds for dismissal? You said judge stated on record that he was not a pedo, backed by expert testimony. So what did he base his ruling? That's a good question. Judge Levenweber stated on record that Robert Sylvester Kelly, aka R.Kelly, was not a pedo. And he backed it by an expert testimony. So what did he base his ruling on? Hey, Shannon, could it be the ruling of I'm the government, I'm going to grease your palm the way I did everybody else? Could that be the reason why Levin Weber went 72 months over the guidelines? Now, I must say this. I've never seen judges in districts, 2 different districts or jurisdictions, talk about the same case. But when I seen that story with Levin Weber and Ann Donnelly talking, I said, oh, hell. I'm looking at how this is going to go. And both judges moved the goalposts in the 4th quarter with 3 seconds left so their team can win. I never understood how that can go like that. Michelle said they paid them off. Allegedly, let's say allegedly they paid them off because we don't know. And I don't want Levin Weber coming at me. I don't want him coming at me. So hold on. Let's finish.
The same child pornography. They looked at the images on related to counts 2 and 3. They found.
Stop. Here's a problem that I'm having. Damn. I'm glad this ain't no beer because I've been throwing them down. Here's the problem that I'm having. And I went at the COVID people, and I went at Team Truth. I went at Angelo. I went at Tim. I went at but I even went at lawyers. I went at Michael Avenatti, and I went at Gerald Griggs. And we talked. And we agreed to disagree, and we disagreed. Now, they said it was over 100 devices. Right? I was in New York court. I wasn't in Chicago because I had to work. But I was in New York court. And what gets me is the video that they played in New York. It wasn't porn on that. It was a visual of R.Kelly standing next to Hallie Calhoun. But then I remember this like it was yesterday. They said, I'm going to show you the visual, right? Then they said, I want you to close your eyes. And only the jury and the defense and the prosecution can hear this. From this point, spectators can leave out because you won't be able to hear it. It's going to be for 27 minutes. And I sat there and I said, something ain't right. And then they came back and said, close your eyes and picture your daughter trying to leave a man's house. And this is what you hear. And from that point, you can see certain movements and certain people on the defense team and the prosecutor, and you see the prosecutor face just jumping like this. And I said, yo, a non-seeing visual is always worse than a seeing visual. What up, Audra? I said a non-seeing visual is always worse than a seeing visual. Why is that, Dana? Because you're listening to something. And what you're listening to, your ears can be deceived. And it can be something totally different from what the narrative that they are telling you it is. But the other people tell you it's over 101 devices. But when I said there's no way they can get the authentic videos because, one, the chain of custody has been broken. 2, And we know Michael Avenatti been trying to perfect the deep fake. 3, we know that the videos that they had in their custody would have been warped. There's no way you can hold videos for 20 years and don't play them at all and they still playable. In no way possible. So what they do, they put a video together with images. I was told that I'm a liar, but they didn't do that. So Ms. Bonjean, can you please tell them what was on them videos again?
See cases where maybe the government just didn't meet its burden, right? We can't assume that the jury would have not found it by the lower standard. But in this case, we can tell very clearly that they did not find that those tapes that were the subject of the wild goose chase were child pornography. If they had, they would have at least convicted Mr. Kelly of the conspiracy count. It's the same child pornography. They looked at the images on related
received in New York significantly.
Related to counts 2 and 3, the jury would have not found it by the lower standard. But in this case, we can tell very clearly that they did not find that those tapes that were the subject of the wild goose chase were child pornography. If they had, they would have at least convicted Mr. Kelly of the conspiracy count. It's the same child pornography. They looked at the images on related to counts 2 and 3. They found it to be child pornography. And then they acquitted him of the conspiracy.
Ms. Bonjean, if we...
Ho. Shorty, where you at? They looked at the images on tapes 2 and 3. If it was child pornography on there, why would they acquit him of conspiracy? Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Which makes me believe and see, and I'll go here. If I was well, listen, I know Ms. Bonjean handle her business. I know she do. However, I would definitely challenge the custody of a DVD. And I'm going to tell you why. There was no DVDs then. It was only VHS. So how can you transfer a VHS to DVD? Now watch this. Here's the problem that I'm having. When we start going to state court, right? The DVD wouldn't play. That came from Avenatti. But when it got to the feds, all of a sudden, the DVD had images on there that played. I'm trying to figure out, how can it not play in state court, but in federal court it can play? Shorty said, I'm right here. Shorty, you got some explaining to do. You got some explaining to do. I'm just trying to figure out, how can a DVD play in not play in state court, but play in federal court? Now, hey, Jazz, let's go back and listen to that again.
Jury would have not found it by the lower standard. But in this case, we can tell very clearly that they did not find that those tapes that were the subject of the wild goose chase were child pornography. If they had, they would have at least convicted Mr. Kelly of the conspiracy count. It's the same child pornography. They looked at the images on related to counts 2 and 3. They found it to be child pornography. And then they acquitted him of the conspiracy.
Ms. Bonjean, if we agree with you, and
they looked at the images on tapes 2 and 3 and found it to be child pornography, but they acquitted him of the conspiracy. Now, do anybody see the conflict in that? If it was child pornography on them tapes, there's no way you can acquit him on conspiracy, because if child pornography and was on the tapes, that means he was trying to conspire to get them tapes back. So therefore, he would have been charged with it. But because he wasn't charged with conspiracy, it makes me turn and say, was there child pornography on them tapes? See, here's the problem. And a lot of people, they take it a piece and run with it. But what you're really listening to is reverse jargon and legalese at its finest. When you go to the 7th Circuit of Appeals and when you go to Supreme Court, man, the legalese is so thick, you can't even use a knife to cut it. But my question is, and I'll ask anybody and I'll debate anybody, if you find child pornography on tapes 2 and 3, there's no way you can acquit him on conspiracy. But because you acquit him on conspiracy, how in the hell can it be child pornography on tapes 2 and 3? Because those charges go hand in hand. And what people don't understand is that when you have charges that go hand in hand, is a catch-22, and you can't acquit one and convict the other. Impossible. That's why Leavenweather, when they came out and said, do you want us to go by what they have agreed on? And Leavenweather said, what did the defense and the prosecution agree on? And they said, they agreed on, if you find Mr. Kelly on tapes 1, 2, or 3, then you must find him guilty. No, I'm sorry. If you find Mr. Kelly on tapes 1, 2, and 3, you must find him guilty. If you don't find Mr. Kelly on tapes 1, 2, and 3, you must acquit him. And they asked Judge Leavenweather that question twice. He came back and said, change "and" to "or." Hold on. When you change "and" to "or," you change the whole sentence and the dynamics of it. So now they go from, if you find Mr. Kelly on tapes 1, 2, and 3, then you must find him guilty. If you don't find him on tapes 1, 2, and 3, you must acquit. But then you change it from "and" to "or," so now they have a different meaning. If you find Mr. Kelly on tapes 1, 2, or 3, then you must find him guilty. If you don't find him on tapes 1, 2, or 3, then you must acquit. Now you see the wordplay? And what people was listening to was the beginning. They never went and listened to what was going on. So the guy rushed back and said, okay, Judge Leavenweather changed it. No. At that point, the prosecution ain't care. They just want to get a conviction. The defense said something about it, I believe, and they got struck down. But as the head person of the jurors, I forgot what they call it, I think it's a foreman or something. As the foreman, let's just use that. The foreman was supposed to say, Judge, we can't change what they agree on unless they agree on the word change. That's the way the court goes. Thank you, Mama Mary. Change the concept. Right, they changed the concept. So at the end of the day, the defense and the prosecution was supposed to agree. The judge was not supposed to step in and put an aid and abet the prosecution. Because that's what happened. Mama Mary said, change the concept to be regardless, Robert Kelly is guilty. Facts. And that's where the problem come in at. Let's finish.
Send this back for resentencing. Does your client realize he could end up worse off? Because
listen, that's the scare tactic. If we send this back for resentencing, do your client realize he can be worse off? Well, hold on. Let's not send it back for resentencing. Let's send it back for a new trial or dismissal. Because why would you go back and resentence the same regurgitated lies? Let's have a new trial or dismissal. But let's listen, hold on.
Because the court did go above the guidelines, but very significantly only...
Hold on. Now the United States Court of Appeals, the Seventh Circuit, is saying that the judge did go beyond the guidelines. Hold on. Now you got the appeals judge saying that it's true that Levin Weber did this. Uh-oh, let's go.
1 year is consecutive to the sentence that your client received in New York. So theoretically, if it's remanded for resentencing because of an error and the court gives a guideline sentence, which is what you seem to be arguing the court should have given, that entire guideline sentence could be consecutive or half of it or more than a year, which would put your client...
Attention, did you serve, live, or work at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune, North Carolina between 1953...
in a worse position. So does your client realize that?
Yes, Judge. I do think that if the net result was a more significant sentence, it would be retaliatory for exercising his right to appeal. So I don't think the judge could, and I frankly don't think the judge would do that.
The judge certainly could. If it's sent back for resentencing, the judge could start over and look at everything. So to say it would be retaliatory, there's no grounds for that or no case law that would support giving a higher sentence or a sentence that would have a more significant consequence.
Well, I think the second point is a more I think a valid point to some degree, but I do think there's plenty of case law that says you can't punish someone for exercising their right to an appeal, right? So if the judge were to give a net greater sentence, our position would be that that was retributive.
I just want to make sure your client understands that if he wins on this particular point, he has risks that he might get a higher consecutive sentence.
Yes, Judge, and frankly, to be frank, kind of all depends on what happens in the Eastern District, because that's
on appeal. I understand.
That's his life sentence right there, essentially. It's a 30-year sentence. So not to say this doesn't matter, but if that sentence sticks, he probably will die in prison. And that is the reality. So we have had these conversations if the court is asking that, and we understand that. We had those conversations before we even went to trial, frankly, and he understands all of that. I would argue, and just moving on to, again, the general proposition that the general proposition that modern guidelines can just provide a basis for giving an above guideline sentence does run afoul of the ex post facto clause, where the district court is not pointing to some specific aggravating factor. For example,
would we have to overrule Co to find for you, where we said it's okay to look to guideline amendments to justify a variance?
No, not at all. In fact, I think the court should rely on Co. It's okay to look at amendments. That's perfectly okay. You can look at an amendment. But that's not what happened here. So, for instance, if the applicable guidelines didn't take into account, this is not the case, but for instance, the age of the victim, and modern guidelines do take account the age of the victim, then it would be appropriate under Co to say, I'm going to rely on the age of the victim as a basis for going above the guidelines. But here what we have is sort of this general idea that modern guidelines are more harsh. We care more about child pornography now, and modern guidelines are more serious or punish the conduct more severely. This is just an end run around the ex post facto prohibition. So if the court could have gotten there, but there needed to be some precise basis, and neither the court, the government, or probation, really anyone has identified a specific aggravating factor that was not addressed in the applicable guidelines. And that is the reason that this is just a Pew violation rather than a proper basis for going above the guidelines. I have about 1 minute left. I want to briefly touch on the statute of limitations issue, which I think the court is probably well versed in. But the point I want to make is that the government seems to think that so long as retroactive application doesn't violate the ex post facto clause, it's good, no problem.
And you're not arguing otherwise, correct?
I'm not arguing otherwise. What I am saying is that we still have to start with looking at what Congress intended. And that first starts with the language that's used by Congress in the statute itself, which is the best indicator of Congress's intent. And then you can also look at the legislative history. And our position is not only did the statute use language like would and shall, which we know is future type of language, but it contains no language about retroactivity. And in fact, there was language, a prior version of the bill did include language of retroactivity that was excised in the final bill. So I think we could see that Congress intended this to apply prospectively. I see that my time is up. I can address any further arguments on rebuttal. Thank you.
Thank you.
So pretty much she addressed the statute of limitation because the government and Judge Livenweather interpreted Congress to mean one thing when they meant something else. So let's listen to what the federal government had to say. And I urge y'all to listen real closely because they tell on themselves. Here we go.
Mr. Williamson.
Good morning. May it please the court, Brian Williamson on behalf of the United States. The district court did not procedurally err and did not abuse its discretion with regards to the substantive reasonableness of defendant's 240-month above guidelines sentence. The district...
Hold the hell up. He said the government did not err and given the defense a 240-month above guideline sentence. I'm going to say that again. He said the government did not err in giving the defendant an above guideline of 240 months sentence. Do y'all understand what's going on? Do y'all? Thank you. Audra said that's 20 years above guidelines, shaking my head. Stephanie said that's excessive. Excessive to the 3rd degree, 7th degree, 20th degree. Let's finish.
District court started with defendant's proposed guidelines range and then went above those guidelines range.
Are you tired of getting lowball cash offers for your house? Not only will we buy your home fast, we'll...
Upon a thorough explanation of the 3553A factors. As such, the primary basis for the above guideline sentence was the court's finding that the offense conduct was horrible, horrific, and deserving of very, very serious consequences for Mr. Kelly.
Watch this. He said that the court found that his actions were horrific, horrendous, and pretty much Mr. Kelly need to be sentenced for what was said in court. But watch this. All of the horrific stuff he was acquitted of. So if you acquit me of the horrific stuff, why are you charging me with it? I mean, make this make sense. Make this make sense. Check it out.
I think the court has already picked up on that. Defense counsel loses.
Love life. Love life. Yeah, at first they were saying 72 months. I think the 72 months above guideline sentence was for New York. But the 240 above guideline was Chicago.
The forest for the trees a little bit in arguing that the above guideline sentence was based solely and exclusively on the obstructive conduct. And
Is it your view, Mr. Williamson, that the...
Hold on. He's being charged with obstruction when he was acquitted on it. Listen to what they saying. They pretty much telling you, yeah, we did what we wanted to do. We threw dung at the wall, and the judge didn't care. And guess what? That's what he got. Check it out.
And then went above those guidelines range upon a thorough explanation of the 3553A factors. As such, the primary basis for the above guideline sentence was the court's finding that the offense conduct was horrible, horrific, and deserving of very, very serious consequences for Mr. Kelly. I think the court has already picked up on that. Defense counsel loses the forest for the trees a little bit in arguing that the above guideline sentence was based solely and exclusively on the obstructive conduct. And Is it your view, Mr. Williamson, that the court did rely on the obstruction of justice conduct in imposing sentence? Your Honor, so I think it's important to clarify that the starting point was adopting defendant's guidelines.
No. She asked you, was it your view? Hold on. Now we're going to get into it. The judge said, was it your view? Let's see what he say.
Range.
But is it a basis to vary?
I think it was a data point in justifying the above guideline sentence. It was not, neither were imposed specifically as a mechanical basis to vary above.
And can you distinguish for me between what you mean by a data point and a basis to vary?
Right, Your Honor.
Did the court consider it? It's hard to tell from the court's comment that it could consider, and I'm not sure there's any specific finding by a preponderance of the evidence as to...
Bro, in my Kevin Terrell voice, you need to... Stop. Because she just caught you in your lie.
Why the obstruction of justice conduct occurred, or that the government did prove it by a preponderance of the evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. So, the sentencing court found by a preponderance of evidence that obstructive conduct occurred. Now, whether...
Oh! I ain't have to help now more, you rotten asshole, bitch!
How can a sentencing court find that obstruction happened when you acquitted him of obstruction? Oh my God!
Whether that comprised a specific part of the above guideline sentence, or whether that was a further justification aligned with the seriousness of the offense conduct, the sentencing transcript does leave that a little bit ambiguous. But it's clear that on the offense conduct alone, the 3553A factors alone, and the seriousness of the conduct, the court could have arrived at the 240-month above guideline sentence by itself.
What? How can a court arrive at that by itself, bro? You just told on yourself and said you overcharged a man just because of what y'all thought. Even though he was acquitted, y'all still charge him of the acquitted charges. You can't do that. On that alone, this case will have to go under advisement. Watch.
So just to pin this down with clarity, your position is that Judge Lynam-Weber made the findings necessary to consider the obstructive conduct.
Oh, no, you did not. No, you did not. Hey, Mr. Williams, you not going to throw that 80-year-old man under the bus like this. You ain't. Hey, Mr. Williams, you ain't about to do that, are you? Hold on, Mr. Williams. We got here with the set. Man, I keep telling y'all, these appeal judges are slick as hell. Listen.
To tell from the court's comment that it could consider, and I'm not sure there's any specific finding by a preponderance of the evidence as to why the obstruction of justice conduct occurred, or that the government did prove it by a preponderance of the evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. So, the sentencing court found by a preponderance of evidence that obstructive conduct occurred. Now, whether that comprised a specific part of the above guideline sentence, or whether that was a further justification aligned with the seriousness of the offense conduct, the sentencing transcript does leave that a little bit ambiguous. But
hold on. Because I don't believe in playing with people. Hold on. Ambiguous. Ambiguous means open to more than one interpretation, having a double meaning, unclear or inexact because a choice between alternatives has not been made. The election result was ambiguous. So if you say, hold the hell up, bro. If you saying that the sentencing transcript was showing the court being ambiguous, that means the court was open to more than one interpretation, having a double meaning. It was unclear and inexact because a choice between alternatives have not been made. So with that being said, you're now trying to use legal jargon to justify why you charged a man charges that he was acquitted of. That don't make sense. He was found not guilty in federal court of these charges, but y'all sentenced him to these charges. Like, yo, where do they do this sugar honey iced tea at? Let's finish.
It's clear that on the offense conduct alone, the 3553A factors alone, and the seriousness of the conduct, the court could have arrived at the 240-month above guideline sentence.
The seriousness of the conduct. Once again, the problem is he was acquitted of the conduct. What's up, Lexington? So if he was acquitted of the conduct, why is it a problem?
By itself. So
just to pin this down with clarity, your position is that Judge Lynam-Weber made the findings necessary to consider the obstructive conduct.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Oh God! Oh God!
So as to the
in my lowdown voice, oh God!
Justification aligned with the
you threw Levin-Weber under the bus.
The sentencing transcript does leave that a little bit ambiguous, but it's clear that on the offense conduct alone, the 3553A factors alone, and the seriousness of the conduct,
yeah, I see you made
arrived at the 240-month above guideline sentence by itself. So
just to pin this down with clarity, your position is that Judge Lynam-Weber made the findings necessary to consider the obstructive conduct.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
You threw that old man under the bus like that. Oh my God. Oh my God. I just need to understand one thing. People, did he throw Judge Levin-Weber under the bus like that? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, did he throw him under the bus? Oh, yeah! Okay, let's continue.
So as to the obstructive conduct, per this court's precedent, it is not in dispute that a district court may consider acquitted conduct as long as it is proven by a preponderance of the evidence. And that's exactly what the district court did here.
He's saying the district court considered the obstruction charge, even though he was acquitted of the obstruction charge. Thank you so much, Tiff. I just...
Moreover, it's clear what the sentencing court was referring to.
I want to enjoy my free time and not worry about expensive home repairs. So my friend recommended 210 Home.
Hold on.
Noted a Keystone Cop
Thank you,
kind
Tiff,
of operation
for the four-piece
spread
McNugget.
throughout the country, and Kelly's minions spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in effort trying to get them back. This is not just about the receipt of the tapes. This is about a broader sense of obstructive conduct.
Hold on. I want y'all to hear this.
Alone, the 3553A factors alone, and the seriousness of the conduct, the court could have arrived at the 240-month above guideline sentence by itself. So
just to pin this down with clarity, your position is that Judge Lynam-Weber made the findings necessary to consider the obstructive conduct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
So as to the obstructive conduct,
thank you so much, Ashley.
Per this court's precedent, it is not in dispute that a district court may consider acquitted conduct as long as it is proven by a preponderance of the evidence. And that's exactly what the district court did here. Moreover, it's clear what the sentencing court was referring to. He noted a Keystone Cop kind of operation in which these tapes spread throughout the country.
Thank you, Lacey.
And Kelly's minions spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in effort trying to get them back.
Hold on. Kelly's minions spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to get it back, right? But you acquitted him of conspiracy. Ashley, I thank you for the 10-piece. Ms. Lacey, I thank you for the 2-piece. But you found him not guilty of conspiracy.
This is not just about the receipt of the tapes. This is about a broader sense of obstructive conduct. If you read the sentencing transcript in...
Hold on. It's not about the receipt of the tapes. It's about an obstruction. So hold on. If there's no investigation going on, and if he wanted the tapes, then how is it about obstruction? Thank you, Lord T, for being a loyal member for 7 months. How is it obstruction? But you gonna tell on yourself and Bonjean gonna catch you.
In whole, it is quite clear that, as the government argued, there was a broader set of obstructive conduct that was in the court's mind when he made those comments. That included conversations that Kelly, the defendant, and his associates had with Jane's parents during the course of the investigation. The result of those comments, including Jane's family's non-participation in the grand jury and subsequent 2008 state trial, payments made to Jane's father during that time period, and others. The burden on the sentencing court to justify an above-guideline sentence is not high, and it was more than met here by the court's consideration of the 3553A factors.
Now, I got a problem. Hold on.
Of the tapes, this is about a broader sense of obstructive conduct. If you read the sentencing transcript in whole, it is quite clear that, as the government argued, there was a broader set of obstructive conduct that was in the court's mind when he made those comments. That included conversations that Kelly, the defendant, and his associates had with Jane's parents during the course of the investigation. The result of those comments, including Jane's family's non-participation in the grand jury and subsequent 2008 state trial, payments made to Jane's father during that time period, and others. The burden on the sentencing court to justify an above-guideline sentence is not high, and it was more than met here by the court's consideration of the 3553A factors. Moreover, it's also not in dispute that there was no ex post facto violation in the court's reference to the evolution of the sentencing guidelines on sex offenses. Defendant concedes as much in his papers. Your Honor, you mentioned the Coe case, and that's exactly on point here. It actually encourages reference to amendments to the guidelines without reading into the limitations that defense reads into it, that those should be used by later sentencing courts in considering whether their sentences meet what Congress was intending. So at end, the sentencing court based its 240-month above guideline sentence primarily on defendant's horrific offense conduct, not in particular on either his obstruction of justice or the evolution of the guidelines. The sentence was thus procedurally and substantively sound. Turning to the statute of limitations question, defendant's indictment for sexual exploitation and inducement of children was timely brought. The statute of limitations period as to defendant's victims never expired, and at the time of the offense conduct, prosecutions were viable until the victims turned 25. But before Jane, Nia, or Pauline reached the age of 25, Congress in 2003 expanded the statute of limitations period to the life of the child. This was unambiguous. Section 3283.
These are the 9-inch Guggenheim Professional Tailor Shears.
States that no statute of limitations that would otherwise preclude prosecution for an offense involving sexual exploitation of a child shall preclude such prosecution during the life of the child. This is a universal approach to changing the statute of limitations. It's forward-leaning and it's backward-leaning. There is and can be no ex post facto violation when an otherwise viable statute of limitations period, such as we have here, is expanded. Multiple courts of appeal agree on that front. And while this court has yet to have occasion to review that specific question with regards to that specific statute, 18 U.S.C. 3283, it has nonetheless agreed with the principle that no constitutional violation occurs in these circumstances. That's the United States v. Gibson case, relying on Supreme Court precedent in Stodner. The application of 18 U.S.C. 3283 should thus not be considered impermissibly retroactive. It is not reviving a previously moribund limitations period. Instead, it is explicitly precluding the application of prior limitations periods that were anything less than for the life of the child. The indictment in this case—
Are you saying that the land graph analysis doesn't matter given Gibson?
I wouldn't set aside—
Because it seems like it's a separate issue. The Gibson is the ex post facto argument, and defendant has conceded that's not what he's pursuing on appeal. Instead, he's arguing the statutory construction, that if you look at Congress's intent and look at the framework under land graph, that Congress's intent was not to make this retroactive, which is a separate issue.
Your Honor, I think the language of the statute speaks unambiguously.
So if Congress' intent was not to make it retroactive, why did they make it retroactive? Here we go. These are the parts that people missed out. And if you notice, you don't hear none of them talking about it no more.
And we don't even have to get to what the underlying intent of Congress was. It's hard to read 3283 in a manner that doesn't apply both backwards and forwards. If we do apply land graph, it satisfies both the first step and the second step.
Defendant spent a lot of time in the brief focusing on the Tusi case and the statements that statute of limitations should be liberally interpreted in favor of repose in criminal cases in particular. Can you respond to that argument, please?
Yes, Your Honor, absolutely. So the Tusi case and its progeny, that's a fine statement of what Tusi stands for, but there's always a carve-out for when Congress explicitly provides for otherwise, and it's the government's position that that's exactly what 18 U.S.C. 3283 does.
What if we get to step 2 of land graph? How would Tusi impact that analysis?
So, in a sense, defense is asking for a kind of an exception that doesn't exist with that. Reading repose into the second step of Tusi, in defense's brief, they set out that this creates, there's a broader set of rights and obligations in that than are provided specifically in the second step of land graph. I wouldn't say we need to reach the second step of land graph because step 1 is satisfied given the unambiguous nature of the statute. And as to step 2, if there is no retroactivity problem, we're not even in step 2 of land graph. And I'm not sure they've pointed to a case that says that the repose considerations in Tusi supersede the satisfaction of steps 1 and 2 in land graph. So if the court doesn't have any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bonjean.
Thank you, members. Picking up where my colleague left off, our position, of course, is that it is not okay to just jump to the ex post facto problem. And we disagree on how, the language of the statute and what it suggests. We have express language from the bill version that demonstrates a desire to include a retroactivity provision that was then removed. Now, retroactivity doesn't mean an ex post facto violation. And retroactivity could be an ex post facto violation, but it doesn't mean an ex post facto violation. And so we are in this category where we acknowledge that the government, that this was not, again, a situation where the statute of limitations has expired, but it was still retroactive. And there are still considerations that this court considered, and that the United States Supreme Court has said the starting place. And in Landgraf, the court says the default position is prospectivity. So we shouldn't start with the retroactivity unless otherwise. 2C says criminal statutes should be interpreted in favor of repose. So those general principles, those canons, need to be the starting point. And I think lower courts, to some degree, have gone wayward from that. I think the U.S. Supreme Court might get us back on track with that. And I know some
But
of
if the language is clear at step one, that doesn't come into play.
Well, the language,
I understand you don't think it's clear.
Well, I think it's clear in the other direction, but
if it is...
Book your first cleaning today for only $19. I felt like I hated my apartment, but it turned
not clear in the direction you want it to be, then we don't get into the 2C land.
Well, our position is that the legislative history, we also agree that you don't need to get to step two. So we're in agreement on that. But, and obviously we would acknowledge that some of these circuits have already sided with the government's position on this. The issue is in front of the Second Circuit presently, so.
I don't think any circuit has sided with your position.
You're right. Yeah, that's correct, but perhaps there will be a split at some point. But our position is that the U.S. Supreme Court would see this differently in light of those general principles, and that we need to start there. And I think the court is well equipped with the information that we've provided and the government's provided to make that decision. I want to get back to this obstructive conduct very quickly. I'm still unclear. I think the government is unclear. Everyone is unclear on how the court reached the above guidelines sentence. And I don't think it's sufficient to just say, well, he spent a lot of time talking or speaking about the 3553 factors, and therefore it's all justified. I think that's dangerous, and I think the court needed to be a little more precise with its factual basis. And notably, the government is focusing this court more on a different set of obstructive conduct, for which Mr. Kelly was also acquitted, that the district court didn't even mention. The government talks about the intimidating behavior, the hush money towards Jane Doe and her family. And in our reply brief, we honed in and demonstrated for the court that is not what the evidence showed. Jane Doe said nothing of the sort. She said there was no hush money. The mother unequivocally said there was no hush money to testify falsely in front of the grand jury. Nothing of the sort happened. They had their own reasons for wanting to not cooperate with the investigation, and it wasn't as a result of Mr. Kelly's conduct. Now, the government, interestingly, is focusing that court in that direction, but the district court didn't mention it at all. So the district court didn't rely, at no point did the district court say, I'm going to give him an above guidelines range because he engaged in obstructive conduct as it relates to his interactions with Jane Doe 1 or her family. He was more focused on really what was the receipt counts about this wild goose chase. And I want to end on the point that the evidence showed that those tapes that were the subject of the wild goose chase, which were pled and charged in the indictment, did not contain child pornography. At no point did the district court say, I'm going to give him an above guidelines range because he engaged in obstructive conduct as it relates to his interactions with Jane Doe 1 or her family. He was more focused on really what was the receipt counts about this wild goose chase. And I want to end on the point that the evidence showed that those tapes that were the subject of the wild goose chase, which were pled and charged in the indictment, did not contain child pornography. Why the jury came back as it did. And there is really no avenue for the court to find under this lower standard that it did. The sentencing justification was lower standard that it did. Contained old-fashioned pornography, if you will. Those tapes that were the subject of the wild goose chase, which were pled and charged in the indictment, did not contain child pornography, contained old-fashioned pornography, if you will. Pled and charged in the indictment did not contain child pornography, contained old-fashioned pornography, if you will.
I got a question. If they didn't contain child pornography, right? Why was the narrative push out here by you know who that Rob had child pornography on them tapes? They were old-fashioned pornography between well, she ain't say that yet. Hold on.
Well, it did not contain child pornography, and the government didn't prove it, which is why the jury came back as it did. And there is really no avenue for the court to find under this lower standard that it did. If it did, then it's unclear why the jury would ever have acquitted any of them on the conspiracy count. So our position is the district court judge got that wrong factually, if he relied on it at all, and that the sentencing justification was too nebulous and that we needed a more precise basis, because how else can Mr. Kelly defend that if he doesn't have a specific articulated basis? With that, I thank your honors.
Thank you. Our thanks to all counsel. The case is taken under advisement.
I thank you to all counsel. The case is taken under advisement. So here's my question. If I had to say something to those people that I used to debate, I would ask this question. Where was the child pornography tapes? Which, once again, to the one lady that called herself she a lawyer, you know, we call her the lie lawyer. Like I said, it goes back to what I say. The Lisa Van Allen tape was her and Damon Pryor when he pissed on her. But you know what they're going to say? That's R.Kelly. You know that's R.Kelly, Dana. You can't sit back and say that's some goddaggone Damon Pryor. And what would I tell them? It's going to come out. And when it come out, don't get mad at me. Because when it come out, y'all going to be looking stupid. Oh, no. That's not no damn Damon Pryor. Damon Pryor. Then I heard Damon Pryor and R. Kelly don't look alike. Damon Pryor and R. Kelly, they don't look alike at all. So you sitting up here lying. So you calling me a liar? Is that what you saying? You calling me a liar? You calling me a liar? Me, of all people. You calling me a liar? Well, I will ask you one question. One question. And I'm going to get out the way. The question that I will ask is, who's R. Kelly and who's Damon Pryor? Who's R. Kelly and who's Damon Pryor? In order for you to be somebody body double, you got to have the same build, same stature, and look just like them, right? So in order for me to say what I say, then who's Damon Pryor and who's R. Kelly? These are the questions that the idiots don't want to answer. But they quick to say, oh, this is going on, this is happening, this and this and this and this and this. My problem is this right here. And I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. What none of us there. What none of us there. But when you know the people that's involved, you can make these type of statements. And you can show who's who. Because right now, you can't even tell. And I gave you a split mark down the middle. I purposely gave you a split mark right down the middle. And you still can't tell who's who. Now watch this. If R.Kelly was such a bad person, then after Lisa got knocked up by Damon Pryor, why did he allow you and your child to come back? And he took care of you and your child. Let's take it a step further. Listen. You was 18 when you met him, but you telling everybody you was 17. You met him on a set of Home Alone. Now I got a question. I got Shank Rock in here. Right? And Shank Rock shoot videos and shoot movies. Now, Shank, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But are you going to let a 17-year-old on a set that you're doing that's every bit of $40 million? That's all I want to know. Prima, they don't want to they don't want to talk about that. Is it a coincidence that he and Sparkle video laying on the bed? And everybody thought that was R. Kelly in that video. You better be careful what you say to me. Look, Shank said, hell to the no. Thank you. Everybody that comes on set, I don't care who you are. If you coming on a set of any kind, whether it be a college student set or a Disney Nickelodeon set or a Universal Picture set, you're going to show ID. And if you're underage, you know what they're going to say? Where's your guardian? Because I cannot pay you. This is stuff that I've been saying from day one. Now, I got to get ready to get out of here because, it's getting late and some folks about to go live. But Shank, I want you in the chat. Matter of fact, I want you to call in when I do Pauline joint. No, Nia joint. When I read Nia transcript, you're going to fall out. You're going to fall out. Thank you so much, Laverl. Thank you for the 20 piece. You're going to fall out when I read Nia joint. Because I've been asking this question and everybody's looking at me like, Dana, is that true? Listen, we have to get back on track. And it's not so much about R. Kelly. If you look around, look at what's going on. Look at what's going on. They are persecuting, not prosecuting. They are persecuting the melanin people. I wonder why. Is it that we are starting to wake up and we starting to know too much? I'm going to ask you this question. And I'm not trying to make nobody feel dumb or nothing. I'm not. But I'm going to ask you this question, and I want y'all to put your answers in the chat. What does discovery mean in court? What does discovery mean in court? What does discovery mean in court? Enough that's going to make you say, what the hell is he talking about? But before we go to discovery, I'm going to say this. Because Ms. Bonjean, what she was asking, and I'm going to close it out for y'all, because some people want to know what she was asking. Ms. Bonjean was asking that charges be dismissed, that he receive a new trial alternatively, and that he receive a new sentencing hearing. All of it. Just because she didn't argue it at the oral argument doesn't mean that her and her team didn't argue it in their briefs. I'm going to say it again. Ms. Bonjean is asking that the charges be dismissed, that Robert receives a new trial alternatively, and that he receive a new sentencing hearing. She wanted all of it. Just because Ms. Bonjean and her team didn't argue it in the oral argument doesn't mean that her and her team didn't argue it in their briefs. So what you're seeing is people, that's Baby York. So what you're saying is people putting statements and things in the chat, right? Let's start here. Damon in the cult LVBS. Let me see where I start from. Damon need to come over to the Dream Team and tell his truth if the court is not hearing. True. Let's see. Prima donna R.Kelly was an athlete, but so is Kevin Durant with no defined muscles like that. Okay. Is it the evidence? Okay. Let's see. Both sides have to give each other what they have. Okay. Thank you so much, Laverne. Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Laverne. Right. Damon the call LVBS. What they found out about what happened, all evidence, witness for protection, and their statements, etc. Okay. That's what discovery is. Okay. Queen. Who you talking about, Miss Lady T? Where do you see somebody named Queen at? Information that is being passed on about the witness. Okay. Info or evidence both sides want to present. Okay. King Cox said evidence. And said, wow, I know that's right. And I said, hey, tomorrow, leave. They skipped past the fact Kelly was playing basketball while maintaining a recording career, but supposedly out here holding hostages. I could never understand how he would have the time. Facts. Hell yeah, prima donna. They gonna do Damon like Polite and Nature Boy. He bring his goofy ass out. Yeah. They definitely gonna do that. T Glenn, what's up? We got 212 in the chat. Let's get those likes up. Yeah, y'all, let's get them likes up, please. Thank you so much. The discovery. Let's see what y'all saying. The discovery has to then be entered into evidence once accepted by court, defense, and plaintiffs. Okay. Audra said statements given during discovery are sworn statements and can be used to impeach a witness. Okay. That's facts. Prima donna. Let me see. Who's Queen? I keep saying people say Queen. Who's Queen? Prima donna factuals, because he got over 50 children, including the girl he has with Lisa Van Allen. Nah, Damon don't have over 50 children, bro. You reach it. Discovery in court means that it has to be presented to each client what was discovered before they go to court. Dennis King, what's up, bro? Thank you so much for being a member. A member 6 months. I do remember federal prosecutors in opening statements through Lisa Van Allen under the bus. They admit she was 18 in 98. Okay. T. Glenn, what's up, boy? Appreciate you, man. Dennis King. Okay, cool. Got that. I want to know to push revoking immunity deals. I want to know how to push revoking immunity deals. Okay. And we're going to talk about that too. Just not today. So, we about to go there. Black Law Dictionary. Discovery, definition, and legal meaning. You see what it say? Definition and citations. In a general sense, the assertment of that which was previously unknown, the disclosure or coming to light of what was previously hidden, the accusation of notice or knowledge of given acts or facts, as in regard to the discovery of fraud affecting the running of the statute of limitations. So is it safe to say that people didn't know what they was talking about, that Ms. Bonjean can now bring discovery into this new situation? Because it means, in a general sense, the assertment of that which was previously unknown. That means clearly that she can bring in something new because it wasn't used in the court case, because it's unknown. Then it says the disclosure or coming to light of what was previously hidden, the accusation of notice or knowledge of giving acts or facts, as in regard to the discovery of fraud affecting the running of the statute of limitations, or the granting of a new trial for newly discovered evidence. And then they have case law, Francis versus Wallace. So evidently, they've been running discovery one way, and we've been thinking that discovery means something else. That's why I tell you, Black Law Dictionary is what they use, not Webster. And then, watch this. Marburg versus McCormick. Pay attention to what law is in. International law. So then it says, as the foundation for a claim of national ownership or sovereignty. Hold on. Ain't that's what I've been telling y'all? That there's no such thing of a sovereign citizen, but everywhere you go now, you see the word what? Sovereignty. And the right person can tell a government, y'all not sovereign because y'all were created. We were born. It's a difference. Discovery is the finding of a country, continent, or island previously unknown, or previously known only to its uncivilized inhabitants. Like, you're using discovery totally wrong. The finding out some substance, mechanical device, improvement, or application not previously known. In re-Kepa. Like I say, man, I don't play around with these joints, man. I don't play around. And the reason why I don't play around with it is because a lot of people read Webster Dictionary and go into courts and thinking that this is what it means. That this means this and that mean that and that mean that, and it don't. Because legalese simply is the pattern of two meanings. So you can tell me one thing and then it's something else. Shout out to Uncle Greg, man. Shout out to Uncle Greg. Uncle Greg be walking around with shaky knees. Ooh. All right, back to what we saying. I know Uncle Greg gonna cuss me out if you see this, boy. He gonna see this and be like, nephew, did not do you clowning on me, nephew, and not tell you. But also, listen, what is the definition of indictment? I think I just went over this with y'all too. And for the people that want to cheat, go ahead and Google it. Because the one definition that Google have, right. So go ahead and Google indictment. But it's a certain way you got to Google it in to get the right definition. What is the definition of indictment? What is an indictment? Right. Right, Lexington. I'm trying to figure out. So Google have it right one way. But you got to put it in a certain way. Hold on, do I got one person but I got it right? Let's see what Audra said. Audra said indictment, to be formally charged with a crime based on statutes and preponderance of evidence. You are absolutely wrong. Nope, you're wrong. You are wrong. Matter of fact, I'm about to post it. This is what it means. And she gave it a crack. That's one thing I love about it. She gave it a crack. She gave it a crack. She was close. She was close. What? So you won't let my comments go in? Hold on. Let's see. To be accused equals indictment. Nope. 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 Ah, King Cox, you almost got it. And you left the important part out. You left the important part out. See, that's why I love the Dream Team, because we are so competitive over here. We are so competitive. And we love what we do over here, which is share knowledge and information. Willie said, let's see. A written accusation. Nope. You close, Willie. You close. It's a formal written accusation originating with a prosecutor and issued by a grand jury against a party charged with a crime. An indictment is referred to as a true bill, whereas failure to indict is called a no bill. Black Law Dictionary. So what are they saying? It ain't nothing but a mechanical tool to get money from your personal account. So, why is it important that when you get indicted to get your original copy of the bill? Because then you can take it, you can get your DUNS number, you can get your bar number, and you can go to that courthouse, which is the biggest bank in the world, and you can cash out your bond. It's a bond. That's all it is. It's a mechanical tool, a bond. And what makes it worth anything? It's on bond paper. Have you ever seen a real indictment joint? How it got gold riches on the end? If you look at a real indictment, not something that's printed off, but a real indictment from whatever court, it have gold ridges. That's because it don't come from the U.S. That paper that they printed on, it comes from England. Look, man, I'm about to get out of here. But I'm going to go to Shank Rock joint at 10 o'clock because we're going to talk Trump over there. But until then, I'm going to say this. I got some oxtails that I want to send to somebody. Who want to taste some DanaJay oxtails? That's all I want to know. Who want to taste some DanaJay oxtails? Don't speak all at once. But who want to taste some DanaJay oxtails? If you do, I make sure it's processed and sent out to you. Oh, good. Ain't nobody say nothing? Shoot, that's more for me. That's more for me. I'm telling you. Tiffany said me. Okay, cool. I got one. Audrey said I do. One day when I come to Georgia. Okay, cool. Tiffany said me. Okay, cool. I ship yours out Tuesday, Tiff. If you email me your address, I ship them out to you. I'm only doing one batch, but if you send me your address, I definitely send it out to you. For starters, I'm gonna send you two golf balls, and I want y'all to tell me how y'all like them. All right. Moi is me in French. Oh, I ain't know EJ, but I ain't get that far. Only thing I know in French is "Où habitez-vous?" J'habite Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I mean? But that's all I knew is "Où habitez-vous?" You know. I would love to have some Danas. And okay, just email me your address. Stephanie said I never had them. Okay, I never had them. Okay, cool. Man, listen. Y'all know I only do it right. Y'all know I only do it right. And I done had somebody taste one today. They was like, boy, what in the hell? You the man. Listen, I tried. Do I ever have oxtails cut Jamaican style? It all depends. Right now I'm on the golf ball joints. The golf ball and softballs. You know what I mean? The golf ball and softball is what I'm on right now. You know? Golf ball and softball is what I'm on right now. But look, I'm about to get up out of here. Love every last one of y'all. Don't forget Shank Rock at 10 o'clock. Let's keep Hollywood next in prayers. Let's keep Senator Saint in prayers. Let's keep Brooke Valentine University in prayers. And anybody that's going through something, we're going to keep them in prayers whether we know or we don't know. All right? Love every last one of y'all. And remember, keep God first in everything you do. You dig? You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to rock out with DanaJay. I thank y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Look out for Prima Donna. I know she got a collage coming sometime this week. Matter of fact, before I go, shout out to Prima Donna family member that was found. She went missing and she was found. I'm telling y'all, it takes a village to raise these people. Shout out to everybody. I'm gone. One. I said I need a quick reminder.
Friendly reminder, I want you to stop worrying about who like your pictures, baby. They see you. They watching. You got your foot on their neck, baby. Big motion. And guess what? They gonna screenshot this and talk about you in the group chat, so you might as well go off. Ain't no tippy-toeing. Ain't no playing it small. Ain't no playing it safe, baby. You big pressure. Stand on that.
If you're out there right now, do not give a darn what opinion people have of you, long as that opinion is not consistent of that of yourself. You be you. I'm not paying to make you feel good about me. I already feel good about me. I'm good. Message for the youngsters out there and the old school, not old fools. Look at me.
Whatever you want, whoa, whatever you need, my heart belongs to you. Oh, whatever you need, there's nothing I won't do. Oh, whatever you want, oh, my heart belongs to you. Oh, I say whatever you need, whatever you need, my heart belongs to you. Whatever you need, there's nothing I won't do. Whatever you want, my heart belongs to you. I say whatever you need.